in my domain. Got the whole crowd screaming out our name. It's a blowout, it's a hurricane. It's over before you know it. While you shaking, we're a dynasty in the making. We're the royalty. Now we're breaking down the enemy. Move over for the soldiers. Take a swing, I can take a hit. If we die, it's fine. We live for this. It's all for this. We're gonna stand on top with our hands in the sky. Gonna raise our cup to the stadium lights. For the glory, for the glory. We celebrate with the city tonight. Hear the hometown cheer, it's the ultimate high. For the glory, we do it for the glory.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome here as we get set for race number 25 of Season 4 of the NCRA Pizza Hut X Series. More importantly, this is chase race number 5 as we are in race number 2 of round 2 of the playoffs. This race is basically going to determine what the point scenario is going to look like for the drivers trying to race their way into the Final Four for the final round, heading into next week's race at the Homestead Miami Speedway. It's our final elimination race. We will determine the 4 drivers that will battle for the championship at Auto Club. And we always say this, if any of our playoff contenders go to victory lane tonight, automatically they will be one of those 4 representatives to battle for the title in the season finale. 8 drivers remain, and more importantly as well, I guess, well, obviously they want to win the championship, but these 8 drivers have put themselves in a position to finish in the top 5 in the point standings, which, remember, in this series, top 5 in points get an automatic chartered ride in next season of the Hershey's Cup Series. So that's definitely an important thing for these drivers as well. If they don't come out on top of the championship, they want to at least be able to step up to the next tier of racing in Hershey's Cup Series competition. 8 drivers, as I mentioned, are still remaining in this battle, and the points are pretty close from about maybe the 3rd position on down through 8th place. So at a track like this where every position's really important, you see different lines move, high line, middle line, low line. It's a super speedway. It's a wild card race, and it could definitely shake the points up and make the points even closer heading into our Homestead Miami Speedway race. D Shears comes in as the points leader of the 8 remaining contending drivers, and as you see, he lines up on the pole position for this race too. D Shears looking for his 2nd win of the season. D Shears, to my knowledge, has never had a multi-win season in Pizza Hut X Series competition. He'll start alongside of J Shelly, who went to victory lane earlier on this year at Rockingham, North Carolina, also looking for his 2nd win of the season. Then you got A Navarro. He's still looking for win number 1 on the year. He was really close a few weeks ago, just couldn't come away with it. And Charles Jackson, a 2-time winner this season. His most recent win, if I recall, was back at Kentucky, I believe. Yes, I think it was Kentucky. And he'll roll off from the 4th position. And then you got J Yepez there, our winner from Daytona and Indianapolis. Those are really fast racetracks. We're at another fast track tonight. Can maybe J Yepez come away with his 3rd win of the season? Let's go down trackside, get those most famous words in motorsports.
Drivers, start your engines!
Let's give you the point scenario for your 8 remaining playoff drivers coming into today's race. We already mentioned that D Shears is the points leader. Jordan Lopez 2nd in points. He's 7 points back. 10 points back in 3rd, that's Ian Canario. Joshua Osborne is 4th in the standings. He is 12 points back. 19 points back in 5th, that is Scott Roush. 25 points back is Matt McIntire in 6th. 7th is Aubrey Eisestein. She's 27 points out. And 8th in the standings is Cody Llamas. He is 31 points out of the points lead. Now, the basic... Oh, we got trouble already. One of the cars have blown up, and that's J Shelly, who was going to be scheduled to start on the outside of the front row. Tough break for Shelly, as doesn't look like he'll be coming to receive the green. Man, that's a heartbreak. He was going to have his teammate line up right behind him there on the start. But the place that we focus on the most here in this round is fourth in the standings, which right now is held by Joshua Osborne. So with the cars behind him, the gap would be from Osborne back to 5th place Roush, 7 points. Back to 6th place McIntire, 13 points. Back to 7th place Eisestein, it is 15 points. And it is 19 points back to Cody Llamas. It's going to make a very interesting start here. I don't know if Charles Jackson's going to go up there and take the outside of the front row or not alongside D Shears. Tough break there for J Shelly, though. What a heartbreak. Had a great car in qualifying, and it looked like he's going to even finish out this race. I like to think that I do homework before I do these races to give you guys lots of statistics coming to this race. 3 previous winners of this event, all of them are not in this field, by the way. Jeffrey Finguy won the inaugural race back in Season 1. He was driving the number 20 at the time. Season 2, the race was won by Charlie Buxton, who was driving the number 7, which is a playoff contending team this year. The defending winner is Glenn Dewitt, who last year was driving the number 6, another playoff contending team this year with the Canario behind the wheel, as you see him rolling off on the outside of row 3. So very interesting that 2 of these rides that are driven by playoff contenders have gone to victory lane in the last 2 years. As the green flag's in the air, we're underway at Talladega. Let's roll! That outside line formulated a lot better than the inside line, and Charles Jackson's going to clear D Shears for the top position, and now will tuck down in front of that inside line. Angel Navarro did not get a very good start, was not able to stay to the back bumper of Shears' Little Caesar Chevrolet. So a tough break for him there as they're going to go 3 wide further back. J Jefferson, a former winner at Talladega, not this event, but the Summer Talladega race last year. See him there 3 wide with D Shears, and now Chloe Ericsson makes the move to the inside. They're 3 wide for second. Charles Jackson out in front, leading the mayhem behind him. Oh, trouble! 2 cars around. One was J Yepez. Oh my goodness gracious! A Eisestein just flew back into the field. What the bloomin' heck just happened right there? What the world did she hit? Oh my goodness! Caution is out. I've never seen a car go in the air like that at Talladega. What happened? It was off screen, so we couldn't see it. The replay will definitely tell us, but I've never seen that at Talladega in my life. And Charles Jackson's going to take the caution, and in all of this amazement, we got to remember that A Eisestein is a playoff contender. I think we got a car that spun around back there further. I think Daniel Olson may have been spun by someone. No, he saved it. Someone was all over his left rear quarter panel, though, on the apron of 1 and 2, and I thought he was going to spin around, but he saved it. And there you see the smoke. There's a lot of black smoke right there. We've got a lot of drivers that aren't going to finish this race out as the early caution flag waves here at Talladega. And we know Eisestein was collected, but there may have been some other playoff contenders in that one. Let's see who indeed was involved. Ben Braley's on pit lane. Nathan Hudson. Diego Yepez. That's 3 of the Srigley Motorsports cars. There is Eisestein in the 3. Her day is obviously over. Ryan George, Mark Davidson involved. And then you look here at the rear of the field, and I don't know if any of these drivers were involved, but I see a lot of red banners. McIntire, Roush, and Llamas all here near the rear of the field. Looks like there could be some damage maybe on Justin Tucker, but I'm not certain. No, I guess not. A lot of these cars look like they've got rear end damage here at Talladega because they've got that left side yawed out to be able to allow them for better aerodynamics and better speed on the straightaways. D Shears is coming to pit road, it looks like, along with Dollerton, Quentin Moore, and a number of others. I don't know if these guys were involved in the wreck or not, but if they were, that's another playoff contender there in the 7. Osborne's also hitting pit road. They also, I don't think, can make it the full distance on fuel, so this may be a regularly scheduled stop for all these drivers, getting the benefit of pitting under yellow. But it looked like we had a total of 5 drivers on pit road, or 6 drivers, I'm sorry, And if we got away with only 6 drivers involved after the velocity of that wreck of what it looked like, I'm going to be absolutely shocked. Charles Jackson's lead us under the first caution of the day. Big wreck on the back straightaway involving playoff contender A Eisestein. Okay, let's see what happened here. The initial contact, I saw Eisestein and Diego Yepez both get spun to the inside of the racetrack off turn 2. Steve Morgan is the car that's all over the left rear quarter panel of the 3, so I have a feeling he might be the one that triggers this wreck. Right there, yep, just never got off her left rear. Spins her down to Diego Yepez. Now, what happens here? Oh my goodness, she hit that wall! Oh my word! And then goes flying right back into the field, lifts Ben Braley up and into the catch fence. Oh my goodness, Chelsea Bowles was in it, the 31. I didn't know that she had gotten a piece of the incident. There's Davidson, there's George. Scott Roush was right behind that, and he did get damage. You can see left side damage on his 38. Oh, and then he also gets Mark Davidson there as well. Cody Llamas avoided. Flickinger avoided, and I see M McIntire just back behind Ben Braley. I think he gets through. I think Alex Gray may have slipped through as well. Let's take another camera angle look at that. That was a hard hit for A Eisestein as well as for Ben Braley. Well, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe if I'm just not remembering, but I do not recall ever seeing a driver, at least on my channel, hit the wall at Talladega in that very spot. Right there, where the wall juts out, is where she hits it. And look at this. Oh my goodness, right into Ben Braley. Braley goes flying over Carson Gumb's car. And oh my goodness, I think Tucker and McIntire just split the 3 when she came down on her nose back onto the racetrack. We're going to take a few onboards here. First on board with M McIntire. But he got through that pretty relatively unscathed. Nice job. And now on board with Cody Llamas. Another nice avoidance there by another playoff driver. Now the 99 of Carson Gumb. Oh wow, Carson did get involved in that. I thought that the 02 went over him, but apparently got him in the roof, and you see the black smoke immediately erupt from underneath his machine, so he was collected. Green flag will come back out on lap 5 of 29. And already the first big one has struck here at Talladega, taking out the likes of A Eisestein, Diego Yepez, Ben Braley, Nathan Hudson, Carson Gumb, Ryan George, and Mark Davidson. And J Shelly will finish 42nd, never even got to the green flag. 3 of the Ford Mustangs out of Strigley Motorsports gone. Last one remaining is Eli Brighton. He'll restart in 6th behind Charles Jackson, Chloe Ericsson, Jordan Lopez, Steve Morgan, and Angel Navarro, as the green flag is back in the air. Now, A Eisestein came into this race 7th in the point standings. And with a DNF here today, if other playoff drivers don't have a poor performance, Eisestein could very well find herself in almost basically a must-win situation next week at Homestead Miami Speedway. Let's tell you where your other 7 playoff contenders restarted this race. The only playoff drivers that restarted in the top 10 were Lopez in 3rd and Yin Canario in 9th. Cody Llamas restarted in 14th. Osborne back in 22nd. D Shears in 24th. M McIntire in 29th place. And Scott Roush, last car in the lead lap, in 34th. You saw him get involved in a couple of bits of that wreck, so he might not be up to speed. We'll have to wait and see. Look at them snaking their way down the back straightaway, everybody moving to the low line. And we're going to have to see about Cody Llamas and Matt McIntire, who we were on board with there in those 2 onboard camera shots. Both doing a nice job of pretty much avoiding that big wreck. May have just kept their playoff hopes alive. McIntire came into this race 6th in points, Cody Llamas 8th. And if Scott Roush has some difficulty here today, and D Shears, that may allow the 2 of them to start closing up the gap. There's still a long ways to go, too, so that doesn't mean that Canario and Jordan Lopez, Joshua Osborne, that they're out of the woods yet. Got a car come back on track. Oh, that's Matt McIntire in the 9. Unscheduled stop for the Liberty University Chevrolet. And he may have already fallen a lap down. If not, he's about to fall a lap down right now to the leader, Charles Jackson. He's going to be a little slow on that bottom line, too, and he's going to hold up these guys. I don't know why A Navarro thought it was a good idea to go to the inside when the 9 was clearly committed down there to let everybody around him on the high side, but that's going to back the field up quite a bit, as now it's Charles Jackson versus J Ericsson. And that's going to be 4 wide back there behind Matt McIntire. They settle it out to 3 wide. Cody Llamas up the inside line. Oh, in trouble in the back. We got 2 cars around, 3 cars, 4 cars. And I saw Osborne and D Shears involved in that one. There's more cars littering the back straightaway. Justin Tucker was involved. I think Steve Morgan, no, he didn't get a piece of it. There were some other cars back there, though. I think James Qualls might have been involved. And the caution is out for the 2nd time here tonight. Matt McIntire fighting to get one of his laps back here if he can, but I don't think he's going to beat Charles Jackson to the line. And under our 2nd caution, Jackson will lead us under yellow once again. And another wreck and more playoff contenders involved in this one. D Shears came in the points leader. He's got damage. Mason Wood was in it. His teammate Justin Tucker there you see in the 19. Z Flickinger in the 96. There's J Jefferson. K Langeland was in it. Baranauskas was in it. And I thought I saw Qualls and Osborne, but they both were able to drive away. Qualls looks like he may have a little bit of left side damage. I don't see any real visible damage on the 70, though I thought I saw him hit the wall with the right rear of his Camaro. But they may have both gotten through pretty relatively unscathed. Caution's out for the 2nd time here today, though. Field waiting for the pace car to pick them up. I don't know if they're going to make pit stops or not. We'll document that when we come back. Let's take a look at a replay of what happened. Another incident on the back straightaway out of turn 2. Looks like another case of not getting off the left rear quarter panel. This is what caused the wreck for our 1st caution. When Steve Morgan hooked A Eisestein, this time it's going to be J Jefferson getting into the back of James Qualls. Qualls down into Baranauskas, and then Jefferson got sent up into Joshua Osborne. D Shears was right behind that. That's how he got involved. Oh, wow, there's where Mason Wood gets a piece of it. He got into the back of Shears, and then Wood kind of crowds K Langeland up the track. Langeland either hit D Shears or onto Baranauskas. I'm not sure which. And watch back on the right side of your screen. Right there is where Justin Tucker is going to get involved as he clobbers Jefferson, and then Jefferson's car swings up into the 96 of Z Flickinger. And we nearly had another car go down and hit that apex area of the wall as Tucker started sliding down there, but I think his car came to a stop just before hitting it. And one guy that this is definitely going to benefit, you saw him just barely back there. I don't know if we can get to him. You can't see him through the smoke, but it's the 38 of Scott Roush who got involved in the 1st wreck. This is going to help him pick up some very valuable positions on the racetrack. There he is, along with Chelsea Bowles, making their way through the smoke. So this is going to help Scott Roush pick up some spots on track here as he splits the way through the mess. And there you see D Shears. D Shears came in this race the points leader, but will he leave Talladega as the points leader is the question. Getting ready to go back green. Matt McIntire stayed out. He was ahead of the leader, but behind the pace car, so he'll restart 30th. Last car on the lead lap. The race leader is going to be Charles Jackson, as everybody did come to pit road under that caution. So Jackson the leader. 2nd will be Ashlyn Boyd. Lopez up there now in 3rd, with Morgan in 4th, Rogers in 5th. Then it's J Ericsson, Phil Parker, Cody Llamas, Cole Deaver, and Jessica Miles. That'll be your top 10. Green flag will come back out here on lap 11 of 29. There's 19 laps to go, still a long ways to go in this one. Out of the race after that wreck, 4 drivers, J Jefferson, Mason Wood, Justin Tucker, and Z Flickinger, as we've got a battle for the lead. The 20 car has gone to victory lane at Talladega. If you combine both the spring and fall races, a total of 2 times. Jeffrey Finguy in the fall race back in Season 1, and Christian Merrick Jr. in Season 2 in the spring race. So Ashlyn Boyd trying to become the 3rd driver to put the 20 in victory lane at Talladega Superspeedway. Right now, the 2 cars look like they're really going to have good points days, and I don't want to really jinx them because we've already had 2 big wrecks so far today. But Cody Llamas and Jordan Lopez looking really good at this point in time. 3 wide for the lead. 2 cars battling for the lead. The other one battling to get back on the tail end of the lead lap. Jake Rogers will take the top spot. Let's not forget, Rogers is a former winner this season, and his win came at a superspeedway, M Superspeedway. Cole Deaver right behind him, and now Rogers will pick up his teammate on the inside, Steve Morgan. Chris Dollerton there in the 1. Got eliminated from the playoffs after round 1, but would love to finish out the year with another trip to victory lane. And now he gets moved to the middle by Cody Llamas in the 48. Llamas wants an automatic ticket into the final 4. Think about the road that Cody Llamas has been on. Last year, had a very struggling season in Hershey's Cup Series, finished down in the bottom of the point standings, lost his charter, had to come down here to the Pizza Deck Series, and now on the quest to get back into the top 5 in points so he can get back into the Hershey's Cup Series with a charter. 3 wide, 4 wide, as here comes Christian Merrick Jr., another former Talladega winner. He's going to go to the race lead, getting by Garrett Sidner after a 4 wide move into turn 3. Great racing up here in this lead pack, but not a whole lot of chase banners up here, as right now the only drivers I can see in this lead pack are Llamas, Yin Canario, and Jordan Lopez. Now Jessica Miles to the bottom of the track. She's going to take the top spot, and she's going to have them 3 wide behind her, so she can try controlling the draft. Ooh, Christian Merrick Jr. crowding M McIntire. Look at this. Ooh, that's a little closer than side draft in there. Got about maybe 18, 19 cars potentially in this lead pack right now, and all of them you could throw a blanket over them. Cody Llamas is the last car in this pack, and let's see how far he is behind his ML Motorsports teammate when they cross the line. All across the line, Cody's 18th, and he's only about 6/10 behind Jessica Miles. Trail on the back! Phil Parker, he saved it, but Olson did not, and now Olson is up and over. Barrel rolling down the back straightaway. Caution will fly yet again. Still flipping and barrel rolling is Olson in a wild barrel roll. 3rd caution of the day, 3rd big wreck out of turn number 2. Looking like they were going to be able to keep it together. There was great racing going up here in this lead pack, but boy, we have had no shortage of violent wrecks here today, and Jessica Miles will lead us here to our 3rd caution just past the halfway point. And there were more drivers involved than just the 32 of Daniel Olson. Saw a couple other cars scattered on the back straightaway. Steve Morgan was one of them there in the 60. He's got damage. Angel Navarro, his day done. Christian Merrick Jr., Chris Dollerton, they're both on pit road. And I think Olson's already taken his car back behind the wall to the garage area. M McIntire was in it. There's Olson. He has not yet gone behind the wall. Qualls, Ericsson, Gray. Garrett Sidner has got damage on his 24. And I'm pretty sure Phil Parker got a little piece of what happened. I don't know if he was involved in the actual caution, but I saw him snap up the track into the wall. I think he saved it, but I think he's got some damage nonetheless. Jessica Miles waiting for the pace car to pick her up. Let's take a look and see what happened. 3rd caution of the day here tonight at Talladega. Alright, watch the right side of your screen first. Oh, there's contact between teammates. Chris Dollerton, Phil Parker. Right there. And then Parker goes up the track. Gets Christian Merrick Jr. He's up in front of Steve Morgan, or Garrett Sinner, I should say. Steve Morgan's the car that gets spun around back there. And then Dollerton on the apron comes back up, collects Olson, McIntire, Ericsson, and Christian Merrick Jr. And then a big smoke screen there, hard to see. And look at Cody Llamas. He's 2 for 2 in avoiding big wrecks. Oh, and then we had another car flip over back there. Alex Gray in the 0 went for a flip. Wow. And look at Daniel Olson, up and end over end, barrel rolling down the back straightaway. Normally that doesn't happen here. Usually it's a track that's got a grass infield. Oh wow, Qualls, hard hit up there into the outside wall. And Olson's flipping up the track right into the racing surface, right in front of William Brock, but Brock avoids, and then Langeland's going to get by his teammate as Olson's car comes to rest on its roof. I want to go back to the 0 of Alex Gray. What happened to him to flip him over? Oh, wow. So we saw Steve Morgan get spun after he got contact with his teammate Jake Rogers. He comes back down in front of traffic. Right there, he gets clobbered by Alex Gray, and then Navarro flips the 0 up and into the catch fence. And Alex Gray upside down. Look at Joshua Osborne just sneak through. And then Alex Gray's car right there with that banking is going to flip over onto its roof. Man. He had a lot of violent hits. Oh my goodness. Right there you can see hard hit there. Chloe Ericsson into Matt McIntire. And what about James Qualls? Who did he hit? Because he went up and pile drove that outside wall. I don't know if we can see it from here. There might be too much smoke. Watch the back of the 46 of Chloe Ericsson just behind Daniel Olson. Maybe that's who he hits. Right there. Yep, he got Ericsson. And then Ericsson flew into Matt McIntire. There you see Daniel Olson along for a wild ride. My goodness. This has been one of the most violent Talladega races I can recall in terms of the wrecks we've had. And we're going to have a very small field coming back to green. Well, we've got the track set to track type 5, which is road course caution, so that way the pits are open. The next time by we go green, so I missed the initial green. I missed the green flag here for this restart. So that's my bad. We're on lap 18 of 29, and Jordan Lopez is out in front in the 34. After that wreck, cars out of the race include the likes of Christian Merrick Jr., Chloe Ericsson, Chris Dollerton, Daniel Olson, Steve Morgan, Angel Navarro, Alex Gray, James Qualls, Matt McIntire. D Shears is out of the race as well in the 7. So right now, we've only got, I think, 3 of our playoff contenders still running. No, 4 of our playoff contenders still running. Lopez, Canario. No, 5 of them. I'm sorry. We've got 5 of them running. Lopez, Canario, Llamas, Osborne, and Scott Roush. And I'm just being told that Joshua Hyatt has taken his number 92 to the garage area. Not sure why. William Brock just made an unscheduled stop. So he is last car on the lead lap, 19th, and I think he actually just fell a lap down as we saw on that last lap, and yep, he's a lap down now. So 19 cars still running, 18 on the lead lap. Up in this lead pack, you've got 3 playoff contenders. Lopez leading the way, Canario there in 3rd, and Cody Llamas running unofficially in the 6th position. And we've only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 11 cars in this lead pack with a chance of winning this race, it looks like. Lopez, Canario, Miles, Jackson, Eli Bright, Cody Llamas, Ashlyn Boyd, Cole Deaver, Quentin Moore, Seth Cole, and Jake Rogers. And Scott Roush trying to salvage what he can after getting involved in the first wreck. He's 14th. Osborne also trying to salvage what he can. He's in 12th. For a moment, it looked like Osborne was trying to keep in touch with this lead group of 11, but he's now lost them. Yeah, we've got some rear end damage anyway, so that's probably why he's somewhat off the pace. This is a battle right here for 13th between Scott Roush and Phil Parker. 14th, or make that 15th place right now. got Chelsea Bowles, 16th Garrett Sinner, 17th is A Baranauskas, and Kyle Langeland right now is in 18th going into turn 1. The field is hitting the start-finish line now, so with 8 laps to go, Langeland may end up being a bit of an issue for these race leaders in the closing stages. Jordan Lopez wants to go to Homestead, knowing that he's going to be locked into the Final Four to compete for the championship, but so does Llamas, so does Canario, and the other 8 drivers in this lead pack, they just want to win. Oh, this is a bad spot to catch that 77 at. Lopez gets around the outside, but Cody Llamas got held up. Elwin Lopez is coming to pit road. This is going to be a race of pit strategy. Lopez, Llamas, Bright, Cole, Jackson, Canario, they're all on pit lane here in the closing stages of this race. Look out! Cole Deaver nearly ran over Kyle Langeland as it's side by side between Miles and Boyd for the race lead. In what's going to be a fuel strategy race now, and this will probably split the field up quite a good bit. They'll all have to try bunching back up here. We'll see if these two come to pit road this time. Miles is on the inside line, so if she's coming to pit road, she'll have an easy access. Nope, neither one are coming to pit road. They stay out another lap. Looks like Ashlyn Boyd on the outside is going to lead this lap at the line. Ashlyn Boyd going to get the run on the outside to get around for the race lead. Using that side draft, as you can see now, Charles Jackson, Seth Cole, there's Jordan Lopez and Cody Llamas. Now they were up in that lead pack when they started their pit stops. So with them coming out in the same area of the track as the race leaders, that means that probably when Boyd and Miles have to come to pit road, Llamas and Lopez will be up in the lead pack. But Boyd and Miles are still not going to come to pit road. Now, I don't think they can stretch it. I would be very surprised. If most of the lead pack had to come to pit road, I don't think these two drivers are going to be able to make it another 5 laps. Oh, we got spin apparently in turn 1. And are we under caution? We are. We're under caution. I was going to say that maybe these two were near the tail end of the lead pack, so they were able to save a little bit more fuel in the draft. But now, this caution changes everything right in the middle of the green flag pit stops. And it's going to have a couple of drivers trapped a lap down, including Cody Llamas and Jordan Lopez, who I think if these drivers here, Boyd and Miles, come to pit road, they would be then on the tail end of the lead lap, but they would be stuck behind the pace car. This is looking fairly similar to what happened back at Kentucky, where we had most of the race leaders pit. Charles Jackson stayed out. Caution came out. Jackson pitted under caution, came out, and it was basically, like 3, 4, 5 cars battling for the win at the rear of the field. Everybody up at the front of the field was 6th on back on the tail end of the lead lap. And this could be the case here if Ashlyn Boyd does come to pit road, waiting for the Corvette pace car to pick him up, and it does. Ashlyn Boyd was a playoff contender last season, looking for win number 1 on the year, and looks like he's going to stay out. So does this caution help those drivers that had not yet come to pit road? Does this help them make it the rest of the way, possibly on fuel? Are they able to save enough? And notice, I mentioned that Cody Llamas, Jordan Lopez trapped a lap down. Look who stayed out. 6th place running, Joshua Osborne. And if he can make it on fuel, he's going to leave Talladega with a top 10 and a damaged race car. Now, I don't know who brought out the caution. Kyle Langeland, the 77, just now leaving pit road. Something happened, I'm guessing, with drivers not giving each other enough room on the apron coming off the access road there out of turns 1 and 2. I don't know if Scott Roush may have gotten a piece of whatever it was too. Might have been Roush and Langeland. But it looks like Ashlyn Boyd staying out, so we're going to quickly jump back, take a look at a replay of what brought out the caution once again here tonight at Talladega. Kyle Langeland in the 77 was involved. This didn't have anything to do with the pit road access exit on the apron of 1 and 2. This had to do with Scott Roush and Phil Parker catching up to Langeland very quickly. Roush is going to go high. Langeland moves down. I Don't know if he was trying to block Phil Parker or if he was trying to give Scott Roush room, but whatever the case, he runs the 5 out of room. Both drivers make contact. Langeland back up the track, and nowhere for the 38 of Scott Roush to go. Up and hard into that outside wall, as did K Langeland, both nosing it into the outside safer barrier. And Scott Roush, what's already been a struggling evening for him, continues on here. A guy that came into this race 7 points behind the cut line, one of about 5 playoff contenders still running on the track, and it has not been an easy night at Talladega for Scott Roush, and K Langeland there as well. So an incident involving 3 race cars, Parker, Langeland, and Roush, puts us under the caution, sets us up for maybe a green-white checkered, maybe a one-lap shootout. We're going to have to wait and see. With the road course yellows, we may get a couple more laps than that, so let's go back now for the restart. Green flag set to come out for a 3-lap shootout here at Talladega Superspeedway. That caution probably going to let the drivers that didn't come to pit road be able to make it on fuel, but if they're close, may end up seeing some of these guys run out of fuel before they get back to the checkered flag. Ashlyn Boyd out in front, Jessica Miles second, Jake Rogers, Quentin Moore, Cole Deaver, that's your top 5. Joshua Osborne 6th, Phil Parker, who was involved in that wreck, he's 7th. 8th, Chelsea Bowles, Garrett Sidner 9th, 10th, A Baranauskas, and right now, 11 cars in the lead lap with 11th place Scott Roush as the green flag is back in the air, and that track a lot of good cars a lap down, including Cody Lama, Seth Cole, Jordan Lopez, Charles Jackson, Eli Bright, as well as Yin Canario and Kyle Langeland. So now basically the lap cars are battling for 12th place, and they are intermingled with these lead lap cars. You see Cody Lamas there, Seth Cole. They look like they're 3rd and 4th, but they're not. They're 11th and 12th. The 20 and the 25 right now are on the lead lap, and then you got to go about 4 cars back before you get to 3rd place, which right now is the 16 of Jake Rogers. Here comes Cody Lamas to the inside. Now remember, this is not for the lead, but Cody wants to keep Lopez behind him because that's a playoff driver and a points position on the racetrack, as Jessica Miles makes it 3 wide up the middle against Ashlyn Boyd. Miles is going to go to the race lead, and you got to wonder if that 3 wide kind of helped Jessica Miles, who's a teammate to the 48. Got to watch that inside line. Jake Rogers in that 16, he's on the inside line. Right now, he's the only other car on the lead lap that's up here in this lead group. Miles, Boyd, and Rogers right now battling for the top position. Then you got to go a ways back till you find that gold and black 89 of Quentin Moore. Will he have time to get up here? Same for Cole Deaver in 5th there, the Bass Pro Shop Chevy. As here comes Jake Rogers to the inside, 3 wide for the race lead as the white flag is in the air. It's Miles, Rogers, Boyd, possibly Quentin Moore, 4 wide there into turn 1. Little contact between Eli Bright and Jake Rogers. Rogers edges out in front for the moment. It's the 16, 25, 89, 20, and 15. Those are the cars you got to focus on. They're battling for this win. Look at Lopez and Lamas up there battling for the 12th position. Be the first car, well, they be on the tail in the lead lap. It's Quentin Moore to the inside. Here comes the 89, looking for his first career win. Can he do it? Jessica Miles right behind him. Rogers goes to the middle. Quentin Moore blocks him, opens the door for Jessica Miles down low. Drag race to the line. Miles, Moore, who's gonna get it? It is, I believe, Miles. Waiting until they get to turn 2, so we'll have absolute 100% scoring verification, and it is indeed Jessica Miles picking up her first career Pizza Hut X Series victory here tonight at Talladega Superspeedway. What a battle. They're saying 1/100th on the unofficial chart here. I don't know what the official wording is going to be as far as the interval when we end up seeing the full finishing results, but that was close. That was really close. Let's go back real quickly before we go to the finishing results. Just see how close that was. You saw that Quentin Moore left the door open for Jessica Miles on the inside, and normally coming to the line, the outside line gets a better run on the straightaway, but Jessica Miles was able to just edge ahead, and there it was. Let's see if we can get a better camera view here. Oh, there you go. There's a good view. That's how close it was for that win. Wow. Haven't had a whole lot of photo finishes this season in the Pizza Hut X Series. This is one of the few, and there's Jake Rogers, that red car in the middle. He crossed the line in third, so it was very, very close amongst the top three there as they were 3x3 coming to the line. And just ahead of them were Lopes, Canario, and Llamas. 3 drivers who managed to finish on the tail end of the lead lap in 12th, 13th, and 14th place positions. How about that? Let's take a look at the full finisher results here, though, from this race. What an unbelievable finish. And there you see the interval between Jessica Miles and Quentin Moore, both drivers looking for their first wins of the season. And it comes down to just about, it was 1/100th of a second even for that gap. Wow, what a battle. Take a look at the finishing results here. That caution certainly playing havoc for a number of drivers, but some drivers are going to benefit from it too, and I'm referring to playoff drivers in that regard, as Jessica Miles gets the win. Second place is going to be Quentin Moore. Third place was Jake Rogers. Fourth, Ashland Boyd. Fifth, Cole Deaver. Nice to see him get a good run. It's been a long time since we've seen Cole Deaver get a top 5 finish. Joshua Osborne, that caution was so timely for him. He stayed out. That caution came out. He's going to come away with 6th place, and that is a driver that came into this race in that critical 4th position in the point standing. So this is definitely going to help him heading into Homestead, Miami, to try and stay up there in the hunt to be in the Final 4 at the finale. Phil Parker, talk about making the best of a situation. He's going to finish in 7th after getting involved in a wreck. I believe Chelsea Bowles was also in a wreck. She's going to get 8th. 9th for Garrett Cinder, and 10th on to Baranauskas. Those drivers all benefiting from that late caution. And then the last car to finish on the lead lap, or the last car on the lead lap when we had the restart, was Scott Roush, and he finishes 11th place. And then as you saw, Lopes, Canario, and Llamas managed to race their way back on the tail end lead lap just ahead of the leaders. They'll finish 12th, 13th, and 14th. So good points days for those drivers. Lopes, Canario, and Llamas came into this race 2nd, 3rd, and 8th in the points respectively. So a well-needed run for Cody Llamas. And the rest of the cars that finished out this race were Eli Brighton 15th, Charles Jackson 16th, Seth Cole 17th, Kyle Langeland in 18th, and I believe William Brock also finished on the lead lap, finished the race in 19th place, and then everybody else was out of the race. Notables, as you look on down here, those drivers would include drivers that came into this race in the Elite 8. Matt McIntire finishes in the 29th position. Dougie Shears in 30th. Aubrey Eselstein, we saw take that wild ride. She finishes in 35th place. And that is not the run that any of those drivers were looking for. That's going to put them in a little bit of a handicap, I think, heading into next week's race at Homestead Miami Speedway with a spot in the Final 4 on the line. But that's going to do it here today from Talladega Super Speedway. If you enjoyed this race, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to become part of the crew today. We have shown your full finish results. These are your rookie points and your overall point standings, as well as your playoff points heading into next week at Homestead. We cap off this race weekend at Talladega with the Hershey's Cup Series race here tomorrow. Then we have all 3 series for back-to-back weeks and our final 2 race weekends of the season. Homestead first, and then our final 4 in each series will battle for the championship at the Auto Club Speedway. Till then, I've been Seth Cole, and you've been watching a production of the NNSCRA Offline Racing at its best.